reacting to true story scary animations. Oh, we back at it again. I hope you guys are ready and I hope you got your blankets. But boy, you better get that out of here. Everybody, please just do me a favor and click the subscribe button. You got 5 seconds. Go, go, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you do it? Okay, all right, we good. And everybody go check out MJV Animations. They're the ones that made these amazing animations we're about to watch. Click the link in the description below and check them out. And yeah, comment down below something scary. You can put basements, you can put mascot, you can put spiders, or you can put your mama. Let me know. And let's go!
I consider myself a solo traveler. Traveling around the world and connecting with new people and their unique cultures is my big passion. This one time, I went to Maryland. I was driving by this stranded highway on a rainy night when I saw a big signboard on the side of the road that said, "Welcome to Cottage City." I was glad that finally I would be able to find some shelter in the town. I drove into town and was passing by the houses when one house caught my attention. The house looked abandoned and had words spray painted on its walls. The rain wasn't that strong, so I stopped the car in front of the house and got out of the car to get a clear look. I turned on my flashlight and saw the words, "Stay away, evil, and don't come back," written all over the house. Lots of wooden crucifixes were also nailed to the house porch and gate. Thinking about what might possibly be wrong with the house, I looked at the upstairs window and saw a boy standing near it. The boy had a pale face with red puffy eyes, like he hasn't slept in years. His expressionless face kept staring at me.
Ew.
Hey, do you need help? The boy didn't answer back and just stood there. So I asked him again, "Hello, are you all right?" This time, the boy smiled a huge grin. Ah! Turning around, I saw a creepy-looking old man standing behind me with a lantern. His confused face hinted that he had no idea why I was standing in front of this abandoned house. "Oh, you scared me. Who are you?" "I'm a traveler. I'm looking for shelter for the night." But you can't stay at that house."
Go to a hotel.
"Oh, no. I wasn't planning that. Actually, I saw the boy in the window, hence." "Boy? What boy?" "The one who just smiled at me. Maybe he needs our help?" "There's no boy in that house.
Ooh.
You must have imagined it." "But I did see him. He was standing right there." "The nearest hotel is still an hour's drive from here. I have a guest room. If you want, you can stay the night at my place."
Nope.
Saying this, the man turned around and started walking. Even though the man's behavior felt weird to me, I still accepted his invitation.
Are you serious?
It was hard for me to digest that the boy I saw in the abandoned house was merely my imagination. I don't know why, but I felt the old man knew much more than he was telling me.
You can't park in the middle of the street.
His house looked so old from the inside, like he was living in ancient times. We sat near the fireplace and he offered me some wine. He looked at me and said, "There's no food in the house right now. Due to the bad weather, I couldn't go out for the last few days." "It's okay. I'm not that hungry."
Awkward.
I started rocking in his armchair. I took a pause and then asked, "What happened in that house?" The old man immediately looked up at me like I asked something horrible. "You sure you want to know?"
Yes.
I guess. He looked at the flames of the burning firewood and started his story. "Years ago, I moved here with my father. He used to be a farmer. There weren't many kids in this neighborhood back then, so Roland became my only friend. Roland used to live in that house with his family, They had a big family, always making noise, but they seemed happy. I loved spending time at Roland's house. His aunt always gave me candies wrapped in colorful paper. I don't remember her name, but she was special to Roland. One day, that aunt passed away. My father and I attended the funeral. Everyone in the family shed tears for their beloved aunt, but not Roland. He didn't cry. He didn't say a single word. Everyone was expecting that he would be the most broken, as he was the closest to his aunt. I still remember how still and expressionless Roland was when they showed him his aunt's body, lying inside a coffin. He changed from that day. He barely came out and always stayed in his room with his Ouija board. He had a Ouija board? Yes. He said his aunt taught him how to use it.
Yeah.
But soon after his aunt's demise, scary things started to happen in that house. The family began to hear strange dripping noises and scratching sounds from the inside. At first, Roland's mother believed that the noises were connected to the dead aunt. One time, Roland told me, "I can hear someone walking in my room at night." The next morning, his mother would find scratch marks on his mattress. Eventually, scratch marks also began appearing on Roland's body.
Ew.
Roland would wake up at night and scream in agony, sometimes even laughed like crazy.
The heck?
I remember what he said to me the last time I visited. What did he say? He said, "I can see them. They all just gather around my bed and stare at me with their hollow mouths opened in a silent scream." We all thought Roland was different. We all knew something was getting inside him, but no one could stop or help him. My family called upon priests to perform an exorcism. Father Raymond J. Bishop was one of those priests who performed the exorcism. The priests placed a crucifix under Roland's pillow to cast out the evil from the house, but his bed started to shake violently, and Roland's eyes rolled upside down. He growled like an animal, as if the crucifix was causing him terrible pain.
Ugh.
All the furniture started to fly around the room, and everyone left screaming in fear. Priests performed multiple exorcisms on young Roland. While the exorcisms were performed, Roland vomited, urinated, spit,
Ugh.
spoke in Latin. He also laughed in a deep, demonic voice. One priest got too close during the exorcism.
Jeez.
Even though Roland was tied to the bed in chains, he slipped one of his hands out of the restraints, broke a bed spring from under the mattress, and swung it with unnatural strength, slashing the priest's arm, which resulted in the exorcism being stopped. Oh my God. On the night of the final exorcism, words started appearing on Roland's body, as if someone invisible was carving them on his skin with a sharp knife. What kind of words? Evil. I could feel drops of sweat on my forehead as the old man went on telling about this abandoned house. He took a pause, sipped his wine, and then said, "On the final night, 3 priests performed the last exorcism on Roland. They even witnessed his body float in the air when they cast the final spell." So, the boy was cured?
Is that a yes?
That's what everyone believes. After that, the family left the old house, and none of us ever saw Roland again. What? Where did he go? The old man suddenly looked at the window. The rain had stopped long ago. He tried to listen to something very carefully and then said, "If you ask me, he's still in that house. He never left because he was never cured." What do you mean? Didn't you say you saw a boy at the window who smiled at you? That was Roland? But if Roland was your childhood friend, then he should be your age. That boy was maybe 13 or 14 years old. Exactly. My hand started shaking. I could feel my body getting numb in fear.
That's Roland.
The old man got up and pointed towards the room under the stairs and said, "You can sleep there, but stay away from that exorcism house." He went upstairs with feeble footsteps. I went to bed that night. I couldn't sleep. I kept waiting for the first ray of sun to hit the room. It's been 3 years since I visited that place, but whenever I try to think about what exactly happened to Roland, I find myself lost in explanations. I don't know whether what that old man told me that night was true or not, but I'm sure the boy didn't make it out alive. What if he was just sick and everyone thought he was possessed by a demon? What if the exorcism went all wrong and he died that night? That explains why no one ever heard from him or his family, at least. It also explains seeing a 14-year-old boy in that abandoned house too, in the middle of the night. Believe it or not, I have a feeling Roland died a mysterious death, and the reason his soul still haunts the place is that the world doesn't know his real story yet.
No! Roland! MJV Animations! Yeah, that's why you don't go visiting random houses, and especially if you see something in the window, leave! Old man sneaks up from behind you, leave! Get out of there! You have a car, just go! Go to a Walmart parking lot, sleep there in your car. You'd be better off doing that than sleeping in the old man's creepy house. But let's go ahead and check out another one. Let's go!
I've been working as a nurse for almost 3 years now. I've seen patients brought into the hospital in horrible conditions. I've seen some of them survive and some who didn't make it. So I believe that these constant strikes of hard reality made me strong enough to tolerate any grotesque situation. But one particular incident proved me wrong. It was a Monday night. I had just finished assisting our trauma surgeon in operating on an 8-year-old boy who was brought with a massive head injury. The poor kid tried climbing a tree with his friends while playing in the park, and he accidentally slipped from a high branch. The kid got 4 stitches on his head. For ease of operation, we had to shave his head, and now with the stitches, he didn't look picture perfect. But being heavily sedated, the kid hardly woke up after the surgery. Upon instructions, I put him in his cabin, updated his med chart for the morning nurse, and was about to leave for home when I heard him mumbling something in his unconscious state. La la, dipsy. At first, I couldn't make out what he was saying, but then I heard him say it again. La la, why did you push me? The second time, I realized what he was saying. He was pushed by another kid? Oh my God. I quickly sat next to his bed and took my ear close to his mouth so I could hear his rantings more clearly. But then he stopped talking. As I laid my eyes on him, I found the kid staring right into my eyes. He was awake, and he was looking at me with an expressionless face. Being creeped out by this sudden incident, I fumbled. You're awake. How do you feel? Where are my parents? They aren't here right now. Did anyone push you? He suddenly looked at the door as if he was seeing someone standing there, and a weird smile appeared on his face.
Ew.
I followed his eyes, but I didn't see anyone. The kid then said to the invisible being, "No, I won't tell him anything. I won't tell. And closed his eyes in drowsiness from the sedatives. An eerie feeling grabbed me. Except for the kid and me, there was no one in the hospital cabin. So I couldn't make up one logical reason for what just happened. I finished my usual night round and ended my shift around 2 in the morning. I returned home, took a shower, ate some food, but even amidst all that,
Quesadillas and beer.
these creepy talks kept roaming in my mind. The fact that a kid's name could even be Lala confused me too. I planned to talk to the kid again in the afternoon. After enough rest, when I went back to the hospital, I walked straight to the kid's cabin. This time, I saw a woman sitting next to his bed. The woman smiled at me and said, "Thank you for saving my poor baby. You're the reason why he's alive today." She then looked back at the kid, who was now sitting on the bed looking at me with mysterious eyes. She caressed his cheeks and said, "Look what I brought for you." Saying this, she took out a yellow Teletubby doll from her bag and gave it to the boy. And that's when it struck me. Lala, Dipsy. Those are the names of the Teletubbies. But the boy's reaction shocked both me and his mother. He suddenly looked pale seeing the doll and said, "I don't want Lala anymore, Mom." "What? Why not? I thought she was your favorite."
Nope.
"She was, but the others didn't like that. That's why she pushed me so the others won't be angry at her." "Ryan, what did I say about telling lies? No one pushed you. You slipped and fell. Stop saying things like that." The kid went quiet and didn't say anything else. His mother went to talk to the doctor, and I sat beside him. "Ryan, who gave you this doll?" "I bought
Your
it
mama.
from a yard sale." "Is this your favorite doll?" "Not anymore." "Why not?" The kid looked at the doll and then whispered like he didn't want the doll to hear what he was saying. "It brings the others too." "Others? Who are the others?" "The rest of the Teletubbies." Now, I know that kids have wild imaginations, but the fear in his eyes told me whatever Ryan was saying wasn't made up. I asked him again, "What happened yesterday?" The moment I asked him this question, a crow flew directly into the window behind his bed. The bird fell down, started flapping like crazy,
Ew.
and died. I called the cleaning guy to take the bird away, but something didn't seem right. I saw Ryan's face. He was looking at me with wide eyes. "They don't want me to tell you." "Tell me what, Ryan?"
That you're too old for Teletubbies?
"They don't want you here." Saying this, the kid laid on the bed, facing his back at me. Everything was so fishy about Ryan and his Teletubby doll, Lala. I took a good look at the doll and realized that its eyes were pretty odd.
Ew.
Instead of eyes, the doll had big black buttons, which made it look spooky. But then, my rational senses kicked in my head. Maybe Ryan's mother was right. Maybe I was thinking too much about this simple matter. It is very much possible that Ryan was making all this up.
True.
After all, he is just a kid. I updated his chart and went to check on the other patients. The entire evening, I worked tirelessly, and the thoughts of Ryan and his Teletubbies swept away from my mind. It was probably 9 p.m. that night. I was changing the saline of a patient
Black
when
man.
I heard a spine-chilling scream. I quickly ran towards the direction of the scream. I reached the corridor and stopped right outside Ryan's room. Another night nurse, Susie, was standing outside his room with a horrified face. Her fingers were pointing inside the cabin. As I took a look, my stomach dropped. Ryan's unconscious body was floating above the bed. I had never seen anything like that except in horror movies.
What?
This kid was floating in the air. His face was terrifying. His mouth was wide open, and his eyes were rolled into his head, revealing the whites of his eyes. Ryan, are you... Susie ran away screaming.
Yeah, seriously.
God help us, God help us. I stood there watching the unbelievable happen in front of my eyes. Suddenly, the lights of the entire hospital went out, and the moonlight from the window illuminated Ryan's cabin. And within the next few seconds, 4 gigantic Teletubbies surfaced from thin air, surrounding Ryan's floating body.
The heck?
They all were looking at me. They all had black buttons instead of eyes. I felt like I was about to piss my pants.
Ew.
I wanted to run away, but my legs wouldn't move. They were nailed to the ground by some unnatural force. All the giant Teletubbies started to grin at me, and then screamed in a demonic voice. Time for Teletubbies. Time for Teletubbies. Time for Teletubbies.
Run, man!
Then, huge lightning struck,
Jeez.
and Ryan's floating body fell onto the bed as if he was thrown from the air above. His pulse started to go off crazily. The doctors came rushing in. Ryan's body started to shake violently. He began frothing from his mouth.
Ugh.
We were clueless. Even the doctors couldn't say what exactly was happening to him. And then around 3 a.m., Ryan passed away.
Dang.
His parents were informed. Everyone concluded that the serious injury in his head made him go into a state of shock, and his heart somehow gave up. Susie and I never told anyone about seeing the poor kid's body floating in the air. His parents were left in tears with their beloved kid's death. Ryan's death remains a mystery to me to this day, but I took that creepy Teletubby doll and burnt it in the incinerator. I know no one will believe me, but I am certain that it's haunted. And it was him and his mates who were responsible for this kid's death. Maybe they always wanted to take the kid's soul away. That's why they pushed him the first time. But even though he was saved the first time, he couldn't be saved the second. I wished his mom listened to him and didn't bring that scary doll to the hospital. Maybe Ryan would have lived if she burnt it in the first place.
No! Dang Teletubbies! I always knew they were evil. I think we learned a valuable lesson. Don't climb trees, otherwise the Teletubby might push you off. Woo! We'll be okay. We're not gonna have nightmares. We'll be good, guys. We'll be good. But if you enjoyed this video, then go ahead and smack that like button. And yeah, I'ma see ya in the next one.